G'day guys, Dan here from Tackle Tactics. How's it going? Just been asked to do a bit of a snapper talk. Beautiful winter's day today, and a lot of people target the snapper in winter time, so I just thought I'd go through some of the lures that I use and some of the techniques that I use. Righto, first thing, this is all I take out, the ZMan little carry bag. Rather than taking out hundreds of different boxes and messing up all your gear in the boat, getting water and crap all through it, I just choose to take out this bag, and it keeps everything nice and tidy and nice and clean, and I keep all my other gear in storage in the garage. Now, I don't use a large variety of lures. I love the ZMan 5-inch jerk shads. Here you can see these are relatively new with the TT Big Eyes jig head. I love the natural looking lures, and I also love the pink looking lures as well. So yeah, I tend to go the pinks or the naturals. You can see these here have been put on correctly, nice and natural looking. This one here, great color, but as you can see, has been put on incorrectly, and the snapper definitely don't like that. I will occasionally go a smaller plastic if I'm fishing in relatively shallow areas, or I might even go a 7-inch plastic if I'm going in the bigger areas, but I tend not to stray away too much from the 5 inches, okay? Beautiful looking lure, and that'll catch you reds for days. Best thing about these lures too, I took a mate out the other day, and he must have caught 20 fish on the same lure, but these will last you all day. So in my bag, as I said, got a few packs of lures, with the Platypus leader. 20 pound is 90% of what of the time I'll use. Sometimes first in the morning, when it's quite dark, or last thing in the afternoon, you can get away with a 30 pound, chucking it into, you know, when some bigger ones are around. But 20 pound is generally, as I said, 90% of the time what I'll use. No need to go lighter than 20 pound, and really hard to get away with going any heavier than 30 pound. Okay. One thing that I see when anglers, you know, aren't doing the right thing is when they cast the lure behind the boat or to the side of the boat. So you want your boat drifting with the wind or in the current, and you want to be doing really long casts forward, okay? What I tend to see is when I take the odd mate out, they might cast behind the boat. What that does is when that lure is sinking down, it will get dragged, and the snapper hate that, okay? They will not bite. That is the biggest problem that I see with new anglers to fishing for snapper. Okay, what I do is I'll cast this lure, try and get a really long cast, 50 meters downwind, and let that lure hit the water. I'll let out some slack line. You'll see your braid sitting on top of the water, and that plastic will sink down really naturally to the bottom, and 99% of the snapper that I'll get will be what's called on the drop. Is as that lure is dropping down to the bottom, and the snapper will just swim up and bang, whoosh go, you're on. Okay, and then it's just a bit of a wrestle to try and get him off the bottom. There's no real secrets with that. And also, even if you are casting out the front, another big mistake that I see is as soon as blokes cast it out, they'll let it sink down a little bit, and then they're giving it a jig and giving it a whip and giving it all this. You know, that might work with tailor, kingfish, those sort of fish, but yeah, not really with reds. They don't tend to like that. So another tip also that I'll tell you is first light. So try and get in, try and get out to the water at first light, okay? Hundreds of times I've been out there and, you know, gotten out there at sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I'm done by 7 o'clock because I've caught, you know, a bag of great fish. And, you know, but then if you're out there later in the day, I notice that it tends to shut down quite a fair bit. So try not to, you know, as I said, try and get out there early and get into those shallow reef systems straight away. And also late afternoons can be a good time, and tide changes also, but you know, I tend to do most of my fishing that first 2 to 3 hours of the day, and getting in those real hot spots. As I said, 15 to 25 meters of reef and also wash areas, I really love those as well. Righto guys, happy fishing, fish on, cheers.